As we continue to talk about getting workers in the U.S. a living wage, we have the fast food strike going on in over 100 cities. Here's what the Republican Party is proposing. Representative Joe Barton from Texas told the National Journal that he thinks the country should get rid of the minimum wage, not increase it, which 80% of the American people are in favor of, including a majority of the Republican Party. No, he wants to get rid of it completely, abolish it. Gone. Poof. He says, quote, "I think it's outlived its usefulness." Really? No, it's outlived its usefulness to you. Since you're not poor, since you're not working class, since you're not on minimum wage, you get to say, well, I guess there was a time maybe when it was worth it, but it's not worth it now. Oh, really? So if you were working at McDonald's and a dumbass politician who believes this took away the $7.25 an hour you were making, and the next day you come in and they say, we're renegotiating your contract, you're getting $4.25, would you have the same opinion? Would you still be saying, well, it outlived its usefulness? No, you would be arguing not only to keep it, but to increase it. This is the main problem that Republicans have. They're totally not able to sympathize and empathize with other people. They can't put themselves in other people's shoes. They're too selfish. This happens all the time with gay marriage. Ever notice the only Republicans who come out in favor of gay marriage? Because they have a gay son or daughter. It happened with Dick Cheney. It happened with Rob Portman. It happened time and time again. Only when it affects them personally, then all of a sudden, oh yeah, they deserve the same rights, totally. What about before? You couldn't do a basic deduction, a logical deduction, and realize that, well, I'm a human being and other people are human beings, so maybe I should be kind either way. No, they're not capable of doing that because they're idiots, because they're primitive thinkers. Now, he also said, quote, "It may have been of some value back in the Great Depression, but I would vote to repeal the minimum wage." Look, every single argument that's presented to get rid of the minimum wage is bullshit. So first of all, they say, oh, no, you can't do it because it'll increase unemployment. Well, number one, even if that's true, that argument presupposes that the unemployment rate is the best economic indicator and the only factor you should bear in mind when determining whether or not to raise the minimum wage. And that's not the case. In fact, the unemployment rate is a pretty bad economic indicator. And I say that because we could achieve zero unemployment tomorrow if we wanted to. How? Bring back slavery. In a slave system, there's no unemployment. Everybody's got a job. They're forced into it. They're not paid anything, but they got a job. So what, is that an argument for slavery? That it reduces unemployment, so we should do it. That's a terrible argument. It's one of the worst arguments I've ever heard in my life. But furthermore, it's not even true. Because they've studied this, and all the times that they've raised the minimum wage in the U.S., either there's been no change in employment, or in one study, there's actually an increase in employment. Go figure. Now, to be fair, it is true that if you were to raise it to some ridiculous number, like $50 an hour, well then of course there'd be layoffs because small businesses can't afford paying somebody $50 an hour when they were paying them $7.25. But if you're raising it from $7.25 to a living wage of $12 an hour, well, yeah, that's going to be okay. And also, just look at the numbers. The numbers tell the whole picture. Don't take my word for it. Look at the studies and the numbers. If you look at the amount of money that the CEOs are getting paid, you look at the amount of money paid out dividends to shareholders, you look at the profit margins we're dealing with here, multi-million dollars, if not billions of dollars in some cases, of profit. Obviously, you can pay your workers a little more. This is insanity. You have them in a system of wage slavery now. It's somewhere in the same ballpark as frickin' indentured servitude and slavery. This is insane. So, Representative Joe Barton showing yet again that the Republican Party, they're not the populist party. They don't care about you.